Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Zetsubou here, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And today, guys, we are going to be doing episode 4 of Zombie Map Showdown. If you guys haven't seen any of the previous episodes of Zombie Map Showdown, the links for those videos will be in the description below. But if you guys don't know what the series is, basically what I do here is I take two maps from Call of Duty Zombies and I compare them and I see what the overall better map is. In episode 1, I did Shadows of Evil and Garad Krovi. In episode 2, I did Verrucht and Shino Numa. In episode 3, I did Origins and Der Eisendrache. And today, in episode 4, we are doing Zetsubou no Shima and Revelations. So in this video, I'll be going over Zetsubou and I'll be going over Revelations. And I'll just be comparing the maps. And at the end of the video, I will see what the overall better map is. So without further ado, let's jump right into it here. When I look at Zetsubou and Revelations, I see these two maps as probably the two weakest maps out of the BO3 Zombie DLC season. When you look at the BO3 DLC season, we have maps like Garad Krovi, maps like Der Eisendrache that a lot of people love. A lot of people think that these two maps are the best maps of all time. So a lot of people like Garad Krovi and a lot of people like Der Eisendrache. And a lot of people think that Zetsubou and Revelations are weak maps. I like playing these two maps, but I would much rather play maps like Der Eisendrache and maps like Garad Krovi before maps like Revelations and Zetsubou. But they're still not terrible maps. So first, let's look at what maps have the overall better weapons. Now, when you look at Revelations, there's a lot of weapons in Revelations. You have the Apothicon Servant, which in Revelations you can actually get out of the box. We have the Thunder Gun, we have the Ray Gun, we have the Ragnaroks. There's just so much weapons inside Revelations. You also have the Trials. You also have weapons like the Nunchucks and stuff like that. And we can also upgrade the Apothicon Servant in Revelations. In Shadows of Evil, you cannot upgrade the Apothicon Servant, but in Revelations, you actually can. Revelations does have a lot of good weapons. Basically, what Treyarch did here is they took all the weapons from the previous maps, all the good weapons from the old maps, and decided to just add all these weapons into one map. And honestly, it's actually pretty sick because, again, you have guns like the Apothicon Servant and the Thunder Gun that you can use together, and you're just unstoppable with those. So Revelations does have a lot of good guns. Now, what about Zetsubou? Now, Zetsubou as well does have a lot of interesting guns. Obviously, we have the KT4, the Masamune, very good gun, one of the best wonder weapons on BO3. We also have the Skull Nampui, which I really enjoyed as well. The Skull Nampui is an awesome weapon, but in my opinion, Revelations definitely has the better weapons. There's just so many good weapons inside Revelations. Again, we have the Thunder Gun, the Apothicon Servant that can be upgraded, the Ragnaroks, all the time trial weapons. There's just so many good weapons in Revelations, and unfortunately, Zetsubou it just doesn't have that many good weapons. Again, you have the KT4, you have the Skull Nampui, you got a lot of good weapons in Zetsubou, but you just can't beat Revelations. So Revelations definitely has the better weapons, but what about the better Easter egg? Which map has the overall better Easter egg? I think that Zetsubou definitely has the easier Easter egg out of the two. I mean, the Zetsubou Easter egg is pretty easy, probably one of the easiest Easter eggs on BO3. The Revelation Easter egg is not too hard, it's not too easy, it's about a medium Easter egg. I personally rather do the Zetsubou Easter egg just because the Revelations Easter egg is just too glitchy. The Easter egg is just super glitchy. It ruined the whole Easter egg. When you're in the boss fight, you randomly get blue screen, your game randomly crashes, just such a piss off. In Zetsubou, that rarely happened. I mean, I've never had blue screen, I've never had lags. I've had lags, but I never had game crashes inside Zetsubou Easter egg. In Revelations, when the map first came out, all the time, I had all these problems trying to do the Easter egg because, you know, my game would just crash. In Zetsubou, you don't get that. So the game crashes in Revelations definitely hurt the Easter egg. So if I had to choose a map that has the overall better Easter egg, I'm going to have to go with Zetsubou. And the main reason is because Revelations is just too damn glitchy, and the Rev Easter egg is just not fun to do because of all the game crashes and all the blue screens and stuff like that. And I honestly have a lot of fun doing the Zetsubou Easter egg. I mean, I love killing Takio. It's such a great Easter egg, and in my opinion, it's one of the best on BO3. If I'm playing for high rounds, if I'm playing zombies for high rounds, I'm definitely going to play Revelations before Zetsubou, just because it's much easier to make it to a high round on Rev than Zetsubou. There's just so many easy training spots on Revelations. There's so many spots to train on Revelations. There's also a lot of camping spots on Revelations. In Rev, when I play Rev, I usually train in the Apothicon, I train in the Spawn, I train in the Keynote stage in Revelations. I also decide to sometimes camp in the Rise and Jack Corruption Zone or any of the Corruption Zones. There's just so many good camping spots in Revelations. There's so many good training spots in Revelations, and unfortunately for me, I find that Zetsubou doesn't have as many training spots as Rev. They don't have as many good training spots as Revelations. There are obviously some really good training spots inside Zetsubou. There's some really good camping spots inside Zetsubou, but not nearly as much as Revelations. Revelations, in my opinion, is overall much easier and much more fun to play if you're going for high rounds. As far as graphics go, I find that Zetsubou looks very grainy. It's very gray, very dark map. The map doesn't really look that nice. Now, Revelations, in my opinion, doesn't look that nice as well, but it looks nicer than, you know, Zetsubou. Basically, what Rev is, you guys all know this is all the old maps put together as one, pretty much. So it doesn't really look that good, but it still looks awesome compared to Zetsubou. Again, I find Zetsubou very grainy and it's very dark and very dull map for graphics. I mean, the map is set in the jungle. You would think it'll be, you know, good vegetation, high vegetation, great graphics, but it's just not there. I find the graphics in Revelations much better than Zetsubou. Revelations overall just looks much nicer than Zetsubou. If I'm playing zombies and I want to go for high rounds, I'm going to consider playing Revelations. If I'm doing the Easter egg, if I'm playing zombies and I want to do the Easter egg on a map, I'm going to consider playing Zetsubou. So both maps have their advantages and both maps have their disadvantages. So which map is just the overall better map? Now, like I said earlier in the video, these two maps are probably the two weakest maps out of BO3. I mean, they're just not as good as Rise and Drac, not as good as Scarlet Crovey or Shadows of Evil, or any of the maps on BO3, in my opinion and a lot of other people's opinions. So these two maps are very weak, but if I had to choose which map is overall better, it's definitely going to go to Revelations. I just love going for high rounds on Revelations. I mean, it's just super fun to go for high rounds. The Easter egg is not as glitchy as it used to be, so doing the Easter egg, you can actually do it now and have some fun with it. So I mean, overall, Revelations is the better map. Zetsubou is definitely the weakest map on BO3, and everybody thinks that because it's just overall not the best map. It's still fun to play, but it's overall probably the worst map in BO3. Revelations is better in my opinion. It's an overall great map. Again, going for high rounds is super fun, and the Easter egg, now that it's not as glitchy, not as buggy as it used to be, is super fun to do. I can now go to the boss fight and not get blue screen or not get a game crash. I can have the Ragnaroks and not get game crash anymore. It still does sometimes, but not nearly as much as it did when the map first released back in 2016. So the winner of Zombie Map Showdown Episode 4 is going to be Revelations. So that is it for the video, guys. That has been Z Map Showdown Episode 4. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Delby, and I'll see you guys in the next one.